Our visits to the Badlands, Deadwood, and Yellowstone on our trip to Seattle are shown in part 1. As we start part 2, we're on our way to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho.
Our leveling system and all of the annoying alarms that went along with it were fixed in Rapid City. We got rid of our schizophrenic rental car in western Yellowstone, and we really thought that we were back in one piece until we got to Coeur d'Alene.
So we drove to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, where we had our next campsite reserved, just one day's drive away from Seattle. And we were pleased that it's such a beautiful campsite, right on the water, lots of space, lots of green grass. We decided we'd set up camp and Jean would cook dinner. But as we were setting up camp, I was putting out the main slide and heard suddenly a snap.
A snap?
A snap.
It was a boom. It was a boom.
It was kind of a loud snap.
It was a loud boom, Greg. Everybody outside thought it was a gunshot.
It's true. We went outside and everybody came out of their RVs to see what the gunshot was.
It was a boom.
It was a boom. And what it really was somehow the slide topper that unrolls above the slide caught, and that didn't phase the motors. It just simply snapped the bracket off that holds the 12-foot long topper that was now dangling down alongside of our RV. I think that was about the only time on our trip that we really were a little despondent, because clearly we weren't going to be able to drive along with this 12-foot pole dangling along the side, and I couldn't really figure out how to tie it up. But Jean came up with a solution.
We go out, we find a bar. We have a couple drinks, we eat, and come home.
And went to sleep.
And went to sleep.
The next morning we got up. Unfortunately, the 12-foot long bar was still dangling from the side of the RV. But I got up on the roof with a screwdriver and unscrewed all the brackets. And that kind of solved the problem, but we had this 12-foot long mast with the topper wrapped around it that we had to, from then on, really for the rest of the trip, load into the RV every time we're ready to go on to our next place. And when we got to the next place, we had to unload it. Rolling.
Oh, hoist up the John B sail. See how the mainsail sets. Call for the captain ashore. Greg! Every night.
Well, every night when we got to a new place.
Okay, every night when we got to a new place.
Maybe 1 out of 3 nights. The odd thing about it was, yes, Jean would sing "Raise Up the John B Sails" every time we had to put it in or put it out.
Hoist up the John B sail. It fits. It was like a sail going through my bedroom and into the bathroom, up into the kitchen.
So there were really 3 problems. One was that now occasionally water would come in when we brought a slide in, when we brought the slide in if it had been raining, because no longer had the topper above it. Well, it helped if I climbed up on top of the RV and swept it off before bringing the slide in.
However, we learned that the hard way.
Yeah, we learned that because otherwise you have water coming into the RV.
Buckets of water.
Either right when you bring it in or the first time you brake after bringing it in.
Yes.
And the second thing is we had to put that 12-foot mast in
every night.
Every night where we got to a park.
And out.
And the worst thing really was, from then on, I'd lose sleep at night because of that damn song going through my head over and over again. We were going to be spending about 10 days in the Seattle area, with the first part in Lake Pleasant RV Park, which is actually in Bothell, just north of Seattle, but you'd never know you're really see right outside a major city. It's one of the prettiest parks we've stayed in. We were a little ahead of the Grand Seafair events of Seattle's festivals, but there were still some precursors, like the miniature hydroplane races going on right in the lake. We were going to be spending more than a week in the Seattle area, so we thought that would be a good time to get the RV slide topper repaired. I found a local service guy, but he said I should get the actual part from Thor since it was still on guarantee, and I called the Thor customer service. I have to say they are very efficient and friendly. They answered the phone right away. They understood my problem. They told me what I had to do, which was to take a picture of the broken part and then send it to the email address they gave me of the Thor parts department guy. So I took the picture, I sent the email, and never heard from them again. That was really efficient. In retrospect, now that I know about how those parts departments work, I think he read my email saying I'd need the part within a few days and spent the rest of the day laughing while he had his coffee, or whatever it is the people who work in the parts departments and the service departments of the RV shops actually spend their time doing. We moved from Seattle up to Wenberg County Park, about 45 minutes north of Seattle, which used to be Wenberg State Park when I was growing up in the Seattle area. It's really a nice campground, very spacious, woodsy, and sits right on Lake Goodwin. While we were up there, the swimming beach was under repair, but it should be all done by 2019, and I'd certainly recommend this as an area for camping out. Great for road trips. We took the scooter up to LaConner, one of our favorite little Archie towns, and including my favorite wood shop, the Wood Merchant. It's actually a very picturesque place. On the way back, we stopped in the little town of Stanwood and picked up some local beer and culture at the Stanwood Hotel and Saloon.
What's your lady's name up here?
But yeah, this place has been around since it became a saloon in 1888. But we actually had Teddy Roosevelt, Jesse James, Sundance Kid, the Earp Brothers, and a few others. They came in here from Hot Springs, Montana.
When it was just a hotel? A brothel?
A brothel.
Oh, I found my way to a brothel.
I wouldn't know they made it this far west. That's
Well,
interesting.
guys don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
That's right, for a good brothel.
Yeah.
This is
You got women and booze. You're
Yeah.
yeah.
Is that right?
We are still listed haunted 3, 4, and 7 in the Washington.
Did you say you're listed as haunted?
Yeah.
We spent 12 days in the Seattle area visiting friends and seeing the sights. We were a little sad when it was time to start heading east again, but we were looking forward to our visits to places like Arches National Park.
And by now, we knew that we could live without a slide topper, and nothing new had broken while we were in Seattle. So that was a good thing.
So east we go.